All you need to make awesome cards are unique embossing folders, some dies, and paper. Hello and welcome to Karen's Creative Cards on YouTube. I am Karen Heshik and I recently discovered these 3D embossing folders from Lisa Horton with matching dies. And just look at the first cards I made so easily with them. This is the first one. It is made with the torn Aperture 3D embossing folder, and it has a die that cuts out that inside part. And I made this card. That Dreamweaver die is from Frantic Stamper, and I'm going to use that again in the card that I demo. So that was the first one I made. And then I made this pretty card with the trailing Hawaiian flowers, a 3D embossing folder, also from Lisa Horton. So as you can see, it does the embossing and it also then cuts it out. So that combination makes for very easy cards. I just did a little bit of sponging on with some inks there. Now all the details of the cards I show will be on my blog, and links in the description box to those blog posts and also to the products featured. This card is my favorite, and you will see why when it's opened. I use some really cheerful daisy dies and another embossing folder. So I attached them and then embossed for like an inlaid look. And then this is the belly band. And look what happens when that slides off. Isn't that fun? I just love those cheerful daisies and that really cool fun fold. It's called a pop-up stadium wave card, and I'm going to show you how to make that. Now I watched several videos and then I played with the different ways to make it, and this is my version. I am starting with a piece of cardstock that is 7 3/4 by 7, and on the long side, the 7 3/4 inch side, we're going to score at 3, 3 3/4, 4 1/2, and 7 1/2. So I guess I put these measurements on here, but then I can't see my inches. So that doesn't do me any good, but I wanted you to be able to see those measurements in case you wanted to write them down. So we're going to score at 3, at 3 3/4, at 4 1/2. Now I really love this Altenew scoring board. It has every 1/8 inch lines, and it goes to all the way to 8 1/2 here. But of course it is a little smaller, and that's why it fits on my desk. So when I want to do the 7 1/2, I'm just going to flip it, and I'm going to do it at 1/4 inch. I need some of my scoring tape here. I found it easiest on this last 1/4 inch line just to add a strip of really skinny score tape right away. And then you don't have to do it on every one of the ones we're going to cut. So then I am going to, on the shorter side, which is the 8 inch side, I am going to cut in 1 inch pieces. Now I watched several videos, and some of them did 8 inches and so you did 8 pieces, and then some did even more, depending on the size of card. What I found for my A2 card base, A2 top folding card base, 7 worked best. So I can show you, this is going to be a top folding A2 card base, and I always make a template that is with paper I don't care about. And the first couple ones I made, quite frankly, didn't work. So this one, I suggest use some scrap paper you don't care about and just play with it. But I found that 7 of these pieces worked best to fit in there. I'm going to show you it that way. But again, you should play with it and see what works for you. So I am cutting 7 1-inch pieces. And then each of these are going to be folded, and the center one is a valley, and then the next 2 ones are mountains. So you're kind of making a like a W there. Can you see that? And then I found it easiest, like I said, just to put this little strip of tape on there. And I'm folding that little tab so that it's in the inside. And then lining this up and attaching it. So you have a piece like that. Can you see that? Now sometimes in the cutting or whatever, it might be not quite straight, you know, a little bit extra there. I can just trim it off. Okay, so I'll show you one more. So the first one is a valley. The center one is a valley. The next 2 are mountains. So again, you have this like a W. Okay. And then fold this piece in, and put it together. Now in doing the experimenting that I did, a little bit lighter weight paper for this part worked best. And we're going to do all 7 of them like that, and I'll do that and come right back. So I've put them all together, and I'm lining them up so that the W side, that folded side there, is towards me. And several of them suggested that little tab be on top. I'm not quite sure why. I never really saw it, but that's what I did. Okay, and then I'm taking a 1/2 inch piece of score tape, and I'm lining it up along the left side right to the very edge. So we know if that's right up to the edge, this is going to be the halfway mark. Okay, so rather than use a ruler or mark anything, I just found that was the easiest way to do it. You can use glue, and then you could, you know, mark the center if you want. And you know, a good strong glue is always good to use, but I just found it was easier to do it this way. So once I have them all with the tape ready to go, the farthest one from the right, on the right, we're going to take this piece and the second one, and attach it straight on that line of tape and straight on the top and the bottom. So there's the start of our stadium wave. Then I'm going to remove the cover on that one. And once again, all the W folds are going to be at the bottom. And I am lining this up so it's straight at the top and the bottom and straight along that line of tape. You see that? I have to turn it this way to get the cover off. Okay. So once again, it's forming that stadium wave. I am lining it up straight on the top and the bottom and along that piece of tape. So these are pretty even. Now the last one doesn't have tape on the top, but we're using this piece to put the last one on. And if my measuring is good, this should fit inside an A2 top folding card. So it does. There's a little room on the right and the left. Again, I had somebody had done it with 8. I think she might have moved those over a little bit. I just found it was easier to use that halfway point with the 1/2-inch tape and do it this way. So I'm going to take some good strong glue, liquid glue, and I am going to put glue on the back of the first one, the farthest over to the right. And I don't go quite all the way up to that scored center line. I'm leaving a little room on both sides and a little room to the center. And I found that it will fold good enough. You saw the first one that I did. I did put a belly band on it, and I will probably do that later here. I turned it, which is not good. See if we can still get this glue to move a little bit. Well, I guess it's turned a little. Hopefully that won't matter. But that glue is good and strong, and it's down. Oh, okay. And then I'm going to put glue on this. And fold it down. So you can see the stadium wave happening there. I'm going to put this torn aperture on the front, and it's ready to go. That's that really pretty Lisa Horton embossing folder with the die. I've cut another Dreamweaver, Dreamcatcher from Frantic Stamper for the front. And then on the inside, I pictured this. I hope it works. I'm using the Fantastic Feathers set from Frantic Stamper. And then I have the Sending Positive Vibes set. And I am saying Sending Hugs. So that's the plan. We'll see if it works. So even though that ended up being crooked, it doesn't come off the edge there, so I think I'm okay. So the words, I think I'm going to use a big feather at the top, and that is going to be coming off and connected at the back. Got a couple extra pieces in there I don't need. Let's get rid of those. I thought this patterned mirror card was really pretty for that. I have some glue dots ready to go for attaching the feathers. And then a bigger one. So this is going to go here. Then I think the sending is going to be on the next one. So I just die cut that and put it on an old pennant die that I had. And we know this is going to open like this, so, and I don't want it sticking out too far, so I think I'll put the hugs down one from there. And then how about a copper feather? Here. And I cut one of these off. I think it would work. Whoop. Going that way, I think. I'm going to put a small I think maybe I'll cut this one off too. Oop. That one went flying. So we're picturing it going this way, but it has to be up far enough to there we go. And then maybe this one, or should we I'd like to have one more. I think we can. Maybe in the bottom part, huh? Let's try. These are a little bigger than the sunflowers were, but I just thought they were so pretty. I just really wanted to try the feathers in a stadium wave. So we have Sending Hugs, and as it opens we see those pretty feathers. I may use one of those on the front on a belly band. I haven't quite decided, but for now I think our inside is done. I have this piece here that I did some inking of the embossing, and I deliberately made it just a little big with some pretty patterned paper, and we will attach that. And of course I'm going to attach a pretty dream catcher again. I thought the feathers with the dream catcher were pretty. I'm going to trim that off and also put a belly band on there to hold it closed for mailing or giving. I've popped, whoops, these up. Sticking to my fingers and not to that back piece. So the dream catcher is hanging in our window, created with that pretty embossing folder, and then when you open it you see those pretty feathers and Sending Hugs in a stadium wave. Isn't that cool? I just love how this stadium wave card turned out, and I hope my cards inspire you to give some of these ideas and products a try. Watch the next video for some more fun fold ideas, and find some time soon to have a play.